information. Climate change has posed in a sense that there has never been a greater need of information as a need of the hour now, because the issue is so huge, issue is so complex, issue is so interlinkages. At the same time, there is a need for, not only from the sectoral perspective, need to integrate social, economic and environmental information in an integrated manner in order to make a holistic view, in order to make a holistic intervention. And there is more and more challenges that the scientific community is facing, the youths that are facing today in the room. How do we challenge, how do we really transform this information in a meaningful manner so that the policymakers can understand, not only from the science perspective, but at the same time to derive this information on a meaningful sense, to be able to feed into a policy process among the different national governments, among the different regional problems or the global problems. There is never been a demand so much in a sense, and also it is a challenge to the scientific community, so to speak, in order to translate this information, analyze this information, and feed into a process, as Mr. Yates has pointing out, actionable points, actionable agendas in terms of climate actions. So how people can take these actions on the ground. Now, from ICIMOD perspective, geospatial and remote sensing resources, MENRIS, as Mr. Chairman has pointed out. This is a mature program within ICIMOD. Since mid-90s that we are trying to promote these technologies so that it can make a difference in this part of the region in terms of building capability, in terms of enhancing capability. And we are interfacing with a global regional organizations, and also looking at the technological trends. Immensely things have changed. Access to satellite data 5 years before and now has dramatically changed. Also at the same time, I would like to emphasize, and in presence of all the member countries here and the partners, our role is to respond to the different demands within RMCs. And we are also aware that there are differentiated capacity among the different regional member countries. But at the same time, we are also in a region, as a regional institution, there are transboundary issues as to how we bring people together from this part of the region to discuss on the issues, to look at the different challenges more from the regional perspective, transboundary perspective and others. And these are some of the elements on the right side that we are engaging in. And more so, we are also positioning ourselves in a way to how can we support to this immense challenge to support climate change adaptation in the Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region. Now, let me dwell on some of the key issues on this key thematic. This map shows the hydrological significance of snow and ice in the Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region. It is not only a mountains, its downstream is intricately linked. If you look at the whole Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region, if you like, this is the biggest infrastructure on earth for water storage bestowed by our Mother Nature in the form of snow, in the form of glaciers, and often known as the third pole. And you see the different significance of, in terms of the population size. It is estimated that more than 1.3 billion people are directly dependent upon the water that flows from Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region, 10 large river basin, which has been a case for this civilization in this subcontinent, Indus, Brahmaputra, Ganges, and so forth. But what we are witnessing is also the some scientific data as of now, temperature is rising and it is more pronounced as you go higher. And impact of climate change is really a detrimental issue on the future of water resources. And we are blank. In the sense that if you look at the time horizon, not 5 years, not 10 years, or 25 years, or 50 years, what is going to be the impact of this on these water designs? I should say that I think we are fairly in a blank position. And also, you would see the rapid melting of glaciers. This is a 50-year repeat photography of one of the glaciers in the Everest region. You would see 1956 and 2006 photograph, where our Professor Fukiya has also, in collaboration with ICIMOD, number of experimentation on this. In our data, this is the largest growing lake in the entire Hindu-Kush-Himalayan region. So there are increasing evidence of melting of glaciers, but that doesn't mean that I'm trying to create hype. It is glaciers are all melting and so forth. But there are increasing evidence of melting of glaciers, and it will affect the water tower of Asia. And it will affect the future water resources, so to speak. So at ICIMOD, we are looking at the whole from the snow dynamics, snow monitoring. These are important components in terms of determining the water availability, in terms of flood forecasting and other elements. We are trying to operationalize the system. We are also aware that India, China, there are more robust systems, but there are countries within they lack this sort of capability. We are also seeing as to how we can learn from our regional member country scheme in terms of monitoring snow dynamics. Mr. Ball, we are also looking at the possibility of having modest receiving station at ICIMOD in order to access this in a more near real-time basis, in order to enhance our capability, augment our capability to access this data on a more real-time basis, to be able to provide this sort of information services to our clientele. Another element, glaciers. This has been one of the key topics that ICIMOD has dealt over the last several years, more than a decade. And in partnership with number of regional organizations, regional partners, we started some inventory of glaciers late 90s. And the Bhutan report and Nepal report was released in IPCC 3 in Geneva in 2001. And that has also created the international attention in terms of melting glaciers. And so to speak, it has gone in terms of awareness and other things has. So we are looking at the whole regional mapping and inventory of glaciers. This is also unexplored areas. And to see, have a consistent data among the different member countries. Again, the key element here is to have a consistency and standardization and harmonization among the different regional member countries is very important. And for that matter, we are working with a glimpse in NASA. Jeff is here, Jeff Cargill is here, who is the main principal scientist lead. Global land and ice measurement system. We are working together with the whole glaciological monitoring services in Geneva, Globe Glacier, European Space Agency, in terms of international standardization and harmonization of this data. And we are hoping that we would release this data of one-time series, which was released around 2000, and we are in a process in 2010. Having said this, we are also trying to extend our collaboration with India and China in a way, because there are, in China, we have representatives from Cariri, premier glaciological institute in the world, in Lanzhou, China. We have a number of partners we are working together. In India, Dr. Kulkarni, the key man, snow and glaciers in